Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Purpose Driven Live Sports, and I'm back here for another NBA video. So in the last video, I talked about the games from last night. Tonight, I'm talking about the games from tonight, which is going to be the Raptors versus the 76ers, which 76ers are at home for Game 6. And then you have the Blazers versus the Nuggets. The Blazers are at home for Game 6. So, real quick, I'm going to make my predictions, and I'm going to break down each series. So, I'm picking the Raptors to blow out the 76ers tonight. Now, you're probably saying that's pretty bold. Why the hell would I say that? Well, I'll talk about that next. And then for the Blazers and Nuggets, I'm definitely picking the Blazers at home. Blazers are pretty much unbeatable at home to me, except against a few teams to me. But first, 76ers versus the Raptors. Why do I pick the Raptors to blow out the 76ers? Well, I talked about this yesterday. To me, their maturity has to improve, which to me, you can't just improve that over one game. They've played really inconsistent. I've told you guys, I don't trust their spacing. And I don't trust. My problem also is that Ben Simmons is starting to become a liability to me. And I say that because he can only get to the rim. And when you can sag off of him, and then you can and when you want to double Joel Embiid, or you can play help, or you could just guard JJ Redick, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris even you can double Joel Embiid as well. When you can sag off of a guy like Ben Simmons, you create a liability on offense. And because he has to be in the lane to be effective, that creates space problems. Because who else needs to be in the lane? Joel Embiid. And what I keep seeing is that Joel Embiid is always on the damn perimeter when he should be inside establishing a tone. He's not being able to establish a tone at the beginning of a game, and that hurts them going forward throughout the rest of the game. Sorry. Again, it's a burp. Back to the 76ers and Raptors. And the Raptors, to me, have turned a corner. Now, I said I didn't trust them a few videos ago. I'm starting to build that trust up because I didn't really... Okay, I'm not going to say I trusted them before that. I definitely didn't trust them after what the hell they did in Philadelphia. But I'm starting to build trust. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen them really rally around Kawhi Leonard. And I'm thinking they trust him, and he's starting to trust them as well. He didn't shoot well in game 4, like I said. But you know what? Wait, was it game 4 or game 5? It was game 5. I'm so sorry, guys. I got that messed up. In game 5, he didn't shoot well. Neither did Pascal Siakam. But those guys relied on a Kyle Lowry who had 19 points. They also relied on a Danny Green who had 17 points. Combined, that's 36 points. That shot well from 3. When you're having efforts like that, when your starting 5 is playing well, don't forget Marc Gasol had 11 points, and he's guarding Joel Embiid the best he can. He's making Joel Embiid work. That's a recipe for disaster. Them matching up with the Milwaukee Bucks, this is going to be... Somebody said, I was watching sports, said it's going to be a heavyweight slugfest. I believe that as well. Because you got a guy in Kawhi Leonard who defends, like Giannis, a guy who can score, like Giannis as well. I don't know who is going to defend Giannis. Kawhi Leonard could handle that assignment because Kawhi Leonard is actually very strong, but he's also a very smart defender. He does not foul, and he's so long. He's got a great wingspan. He's got huge hands, so that's a great matchup. But back to the 76ers, their spacing problems, and also they don't have a bench. I don't trust teams who don't have a bench unless you're a Golden State or Houston, because Houston... Why do people keep saying this about Golden State? Golden State did shorten the rotation, and I know this is supposed to be about, the teams in the East. But guess what, man? The Rockets shortened their rotation as well, which is, so why do we keep talking about Golden State like that? But anyway, they don't have a bench. If you're bringing just Mike Scott off the bench, that's a problem. I haven't seen Boban Marjanovic. To me, that's a weird issue because he's so big. He's 7'3". You don't have a guy on the Raptors who can really cover him except for Marc Gasol, who is about 2 inches shorter. Brett Brown, they keep saying that his coaching job might be in jeopardy. Well, it might very well be, because what kind of matchups are you bringing onto the damn floor? They got to do something, man. If they want to win this game, they have to shoot well. Joel Embiid has got to have at least 35 points to me, because the way the Raptors are flowing, you're not going to really stop Kawhi Leonard. He's dunking on people. He's getting to the rim. He's getting guys involved. This Raptors team, to me, they're starting to earn my trust. So, now for the Nuggets and Blazers. I already told you guys I really like both these teams, especially Denver, how they've grown throughout the playoffs, especially through the season. They're a very young team, but they keep finding ways to build towards success, and they're growing in each game. Jamal Murray's playing better each game. He's averaging over 20 points in this series alone, I think. He's getting guys involved. You got Nikola Jokic basically averaging a triple-double. I mean, this guy is just doing things at his size, at the position that you've never seen besides a guy maybe in Wilt Chamberlain, but that was like, what, 50 years ago. So now, what do the Blazers have? They don't really have a guy who can match up with Nikola Jokic. They do have a guy named Cantor who can make it hard because he does get a lot of offensive rebounds, but that's really it. And then Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum have really, to me, have inconsistent moments, especially in Game 5. To me, they both have to average at least 25 to really be efficient, to be effective, to actually even the series up. I am picking the Blazers because I think at home they have a certain element, and I think their role players will play better at home. I like what Zach Collins is doing. He's providing good energy off the bench. There's not much else I can really say about this series except that also the Blazers got to make 3-point shots. They got to be able to shoot efficiently. And if Damian Lillard's going 2 of 9, then who else is going to step up? Because if CJ's a guy, I'm not saying he's inconsistent, but there are times when he's missing. And if those two aren't missing, who else is going to step up? That's going to be my only thing. So that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for listening. Those are my takes on tonight's games between the Raptors and 76ers, the Nuggets and Blazers. I am picking the Raptors and I am picking the Blazers tonight. Those are my 2 picks to win games. I do expect the Raptors to advance with no issue. I think we will see a Game 7 between the Nuggets and Blazers. So thank you guys for listening. That's going to do it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.